All right, Shalom. First and foremost, I would like to give all praise and glory unto Yahweh Bahashem, Yahweh Shah Bahashem Rakakwadash, and double honors unto the apostles and the elders of GMS who rule well, teach well, being great examples to his younger brothers. And peace and blessings and salutation to the hopeful elect out there pushing his word in truth and in sincerity across the four winds in the name of Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai, pushing to get up out of here. Shalom to the hopeful elect, the believers, the listeners who have came back to the obedience of the scriptures through faith in Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai. All right, and what I want to get into today, is dealing with the book of Ecclesiastes chapter 9, verse 13. And this is in the GNT Bible, all right, the Good News Translation, okay, also with the Apocrypha included. Okay, so I want to do a little teaching out this Bible, and Lord will, you brothers, all right, and you sisters are edified. Now, the way that the Lord set this thing up, as he raised up his men in these latter days, well, he did it in a fashion to test the integrity of Israel. All right, because the men of the Lord, all right, are not men of high status in this society, men of high renown. Okay, the Lord doesn't do the big names. Okay, when it comes to the ministry, man. All right, he deals with the common Israelite man, which is the bottom of this society. When you go into the social order, okay, of Esau society, well, the working class Israelite man is at the very bottom of that order. Okay, the least respected, the least appreciated. All right, the most looked over, okay, overworked, okay, et cetera, et cetera. It is what it is. Nothing to complain about. You embrace it, okay, because we know it's refining us for, these high offices with Yahweh Shai if we endure, you know. But the way that the Lord, raised up the prophets, okay, from amongst, the common Israelite men, okay, was a test of integrity to the believers, you know. So when you read the book of Ecclesiastes 9 and 13, it was a test of integrity for all Israel, and the believers were built to pass that test, to see the value in the word that's coming out and not to judge the word by in which, the vessel that is coming out. Okay. Which is when you go to Ecclesiastes 9 and 13, it says, there is something else I saw, a good example of how wisdom is regarded in this world. There was a little town without many people in it. A powerful king attacked it. He surrounded and prepared to break through the walls. Someone lived there who was poor, but so clever that he could have saved the town. But no one thought about him. I have always said that wisdom is better than strength, but no one thinks of the poor as wise or pays attention to what they say. It is better to listen to the quiet words of someone wise than the shouts, okay, of a ruler at a council of fools. Wisdom does more good than weapons, but but one sinner can undo a lot of good, So you go into this account, King Solomon is giving an account about, this small town that was under attack by a powerful king. And you look at the circumstances that we in today, we're that small town that's being attacked by a powerful king, Esau Edom. Okay, and small going to insignificant. Okay, because power for power, we can't match this devil carnally. We're small in power compared to this devil, man. Okay, and within that city, you had a wise man that was poor. Okay, but the citizens of that city, they rejected, okay, his input just based on the fact because he was poor. Okay, but he had the wisdom to save the city. He had the knowledge to save the city. And the Lord has raised up his men to be those poor men with the knowledge of salvation, man. Okay, as we're being surrounded by what? This powerful king, Esau Edom. Okay, but most of our people, they disregard this wisdom because of the vessel that is coming out of even other Israelite camps, what they call us bums. They call us bum to discredit us, man. Okay, because brothers ain't bums. Brothers are, working class men. Some brothers got things, man, but that's not, at the forefront. Because that has nothing to do with nothing. Okay, My brother's financial status has nothing to do with nothing, man. It's about the words of salvation. It's about Yahweh Shai. It's about correct doctrine. It's about prophecy, man. It's about building up the church, all right, to be prepared to go through these times, man. Okay? So the Lord raised up the prophets whom this world will look at as poor, okay, of lower status, okay, or insignificant. These are the men whom the Lord has given this knowledge to, man. Okay? When you read again, it says, a powerful king, this is back in the Ecclesiastes 11 and 14. There was a little town without many people in it. A powerful king attacked it. He surrounded it and prepared to break through the walls. Man, that's Esau with the gates now. We're in time of Jacob trouble. Okay, Esau with the gates and he's finna break through. Okay, but there's a knowledge of salvation within the city. Within Israel, there's a knowledge of salvation. Okay, and it's amongst the prophets. Okay, and if you're a believer, if it's meant for you to be of the elect, okay, you're gonna take heed to the message of the poor. Okay, it says, um, I have always said that wisdom is better than strength, and it says, but no one thinks of the poor as wise or pays any attention to what they say. You know, pays any attention to what they say, just based on the fact that they're poor, they're of a low standing in this society. Okay, and people look at Esau and his wealth and his power and his influence. Okay, and they take heed, they hang on to every word. Okay, and he has led the earth in complete rebellion. Here it is, the poor man's wisdom was the wisdom of the prophets, is leading to salvation. But the Esau, the wisdom, so-called wisdom of Esau, is leading to punishment, man. So you can listen to the poor man and be delivered, all right, the prophets, or you can listen to the rich man, Esau Edom, and be punished. Okay, that's the two options, all right, that our people have. Okay, and it says, that's why it says at the end, it says, it is better to listen to the quiet words of someone wise than the shouts of a ruler at a council of fools. Man, the Esau, he's the ruler that's shouting what you should do next. Why? Because he has the big projection. He has all the media. He owns the media. He owns the platforms, the social media. He owns Hollywood. He owns all these things. So he's able to shout loud. Okay? We have these platforms because we have to, use his platform to teach. Which ultimately, the Lord set this platform up for us, for the elect. Okay? The hopeful elect. Lord, will we of that number, man. Okay? So here it is. We have these platforms. We get, our views, and he's able to, manipulate the views and shadow ban and all these different things. But the word is getting to who it's supposed to, and we have full confidence in it. That's why we don't trip about this nigga shadow ban, because the word's still gonna reach the elect. We have full faith in that. We're not, scrambling trying to figure out how to get around this devil and his tactics, man. The word, all right, is more powerful than this devil, man. The Lord is more powerful than Esau. Okay? Way more powerful, man. So this word is going to reach who is going to reach. Okay? So you go here to Matthew 11. Well, let's get this in Corinthians. This is the book of 1 Corinthians, chapter 1, and verse 26. It says, now remember what you were, my friends, when the Most High called you. From the human point of view, few of you were wise or powerful or of high social standing. Okay, and we're talking about considered wise according to this world, with the accolades of wisdom associated with this world, the degrees and the titles, okay, and the awards. You see, the Pulitzer Prize winning, the Nobel Prize winning, all these different, okay, awards and accolades of doctrines, masters. You see, a specialist at this, an expert. You see, we don't have those titles and letters associated to us, man. Awards and accolades associated to us. Okay? but we become wise in Yahweh Bashim Shai, which is the top wisdom. Okay, so when you read this in Corinthians 1 and 26 in the GNT, it says, "Now remember what you were, my friends, when the Most High called you. From the human point of view, few of you were wise or powerful or of high social standing. The Most High purposely chose what the world considers nonsense in order to shame the wise, and he chose what the world considers weak in order to shame the powerful. He chose what the world looks down on and despises and think is nothing in order to destroy the in order to destroy what the world thinks is important." Okay, so this is the way that the Lord wanted to do this, man. He wanted to set up those of non-importance in this world, to condemn this world, to confound this world with sound doctrine, with this word. Okay, what people think important, well, the word is pulling all of it down. Okay, everything you people believe in and look at is important, well, the word is pulling it down. Okay, and it's happening through the men that this world looks down upon. The insignificant, man, the counted out, irrelevant, man. Okay, and this is how the Lord wanted it to play out. This is exactly how the Lord wanted it to be. Okay, but those poor men, they have the wisdom that's able to save. You see, these poor men have the knowledge of salvation. You see, so this is not a light thing that the Lord, has going on. Okay, real time. No, the Lord has his men set up. Okay, which will be, the relevant of this world, but with the knowledge of salvation. Okay, so you're not despising the poor man's wisdom, the prophets. You're despising salvation. You Israelites, man. Okay, because not being wealthy and popular, okay, amongst Israel, where you're insignificant. If you're not wealthy and popular, you're insignificant. What you have to say is insignificant. Okay, and the Lord set it up like that because he wanted the majority to disregard this word. They're going to hear it, but they're going to disregard. So there's no cloak for their sin, but they're disregarding the poor man's wisdom. Okay, and then the scriptures gives us commandment when you go into 2 Timothy chapter 4. Now 1 Timothy chapter 4 and verse 14. It said, "Do not neglect, all right, the spiritual gift that is in you, which was given you when the prophets spoke and the elders laid their hands on you," man. So as we heard this word, okay, the Lord endowed us with the Holy Spirit. As we heard this word and believed, repented, okay, the Lord endowed us with the Holy Spirit, okay, of understanding. You see, which is a gift, you know. So you have prophets that awaken other prophets, that activate other prophets, man. Some ripple effects starting with our apostles and elders, beginning with their elders, all the way back to High Priest Elder Abba Bivens. Okay, as he was awakened, he started that awakening of all the other prophets. Okay, and then prophets start waking up each other, man. To teach to what the church, to edify the church. Okay, but to the world, it just looked like a gathering of insignificant men, unimportant men of no high social standing. Okay, and it says, verse 15 says, "Practice these things." All right, practice these things and devote yourself to them, in order that your progress may be seen by all. Watch yourself and watch your teaching. So we're commanded to devote ourselves, fully to this, all according to our lot. We devote ourselves fully to this. Okay, this is our everything now. This is what we do. This is why we came to the earth, man. This is why we came out the womb. Okay, if we're those prophets, we came to do this. Okay, and we understand that it's gonna be despised by most of our people, but there's a remnant that's gonna get it. And that's why we endure. Okay, for the remnant that's gonna get it. Okay. And it says, watch yourself and watch your teaching. Keep on doing these things, because if you do, you will save both yourself and those who hear you. Okay, and those who hear you. You see? So just like that poor man had the wisdom to save the city, okay, well, the prophets have the wisdom, okay, the knowledge is going to lead to salvation, because it's how Shai is going to do the actual saving. We just have the knowledge of their salvation, the instructions to get to their salvation. Okay, it's coming through. All right, what this world will consider the poor man. Okay, so Lord will, you brothers and you sisters edified once again. Want to give all praise and glory unto Yahweh Bahashim, Yahweh Shai Bahashim, Makakadash, and double honors unto the apostles and the elders of GMS who rule well, teach well, being great examples towards younger brothers. Peace and blessing, salutation, the hope for the Shalom.